Papa Bruce here, and I'm just going to do this short video to tell you a little bit about what it's like campground hosting during this COVID-19 pandemic that we have going on right now. It's definitely different. I'll walk around the campground and just show you how deserted it is. As a host, we're in here a few days ahead of time, basically to get set up. And in this particular campground for the National Forest, we're going to be opening it this coming Friday, which is the 22nd of May. So we will be in time for the Memorial Day weekend. But it's different this year, particularly for the hosts. Some of the cleaning duties that we have done in the past, we will not be doing this year. And then we have a lot of warning signs, and I'll show you some of those. And it's just different. The biggest difference right now is the fact that we don't have anybody here. Usually by this time of the year, this campground is pretty much full, pretty packed, but it's not the case now. We have lots of empty spots, and it's just a different situation. So with that, I think what I'm going to do is just hop in the truck and swing through the campground and just show you how eerie it is, how deserted it is. On our way here to Montana, we went to a number of campsites when we were using our little pop-up trailer, and we stayed in the Utah State campgrounds. They were open, and they were pretty nice, pretty clean. But during the pandemic situation we have right now, we have a lot of warnings. This is our site, or our signs, that we have all sorts of things. It's going to tell you that the campground is not regular maintained, and for your safety and protection against COVID-19, please adhere to the Centers for Disease Control guidance on personal hygiene and social distancing. Please remove all trash and keep your sites clean. Well, as a campground host, we're here to host. Greet the people, give them advice, I guess make sure they pay, but we're hosts. We're not campground cops, and we will not be forcing people to maintain the number of people in a group or the social distancing that is recommended. We're not going to enforce that as campground hosts. There are people with the Forest Service. If it's necessary, they will come in and do that as well. Hopefully people are just going to use some common sense, and we won't have to worry about that. But anyway, as I said, let's hop in the truck and do a quick drive around the campground and show you how deserted it is. This is a beautiful campground, and in another video I'm going to talk a little bit more about our duties as campground hosts and the opportunities, and answer some of the questions I've had from others about hosting. But the purpose of this little drive-through is just to show you how empty this place is. Well, of course it's not open yet, but it usually is, and it's usually packed full of people at this point. There are a lot. It's all paved. We have some pull-through sites, but I'll go into detail on the campground layout itself and what we do as campground hosts later. But I wanted to just give you an idea of what's going on right now. Now, as I said earlier, we are going to be opening soon, in another few days, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how this place looks and how people behave when we do open the campground. Weekend, I would have to say that for the most part, other than it was an extremely busy weekend, though you would expect it to be, being Memorial Day weekend and the first camp time anybody could go camping in a campground like this. But in any event, nothing was really different as far as the behavior of the campers. I saw one person wear a mask. There must have been probably 300 or 400 people in this campground at one time, not camping, but that includes the visitors. But only one mask. Large, fairly large groups of people. However, the campsites themselves are quite a ways apart, and when I go into detail in the next video about this particular campground, you'll see that. So in that respect, people were distancing. So I don't know what we really could expect here. You see, here are some of the warning signs that we've had, and people did seem to be reading the warning signs. As you can see, I have a bell for people to ring if they want to talk to the host. I only had one ding-a-lingy. One person rang a bell, but actually I didn't really have many conversations with the individuals. Everybody was very, very good at adhering to the rules as far as noise and that type of thing. So for an extremely busy weekend, it was pretty good. As far as busy with the pandemic situation, it didn't really seem to be much different than any place else. I want to remind you that this is, my comments are for this campground. Other campgrounds can be quite different. Other campgrounds can be a lot rowdier, perhaps, than here. But we had a very quiet weekend for the first weekend open during the pandemic, and with the holiday weekend. So with that, we'll wrap her up, and I will go into more detail, as I said, in a future video, because I've had lots of questions about campground hosting, so that'll be coming up next. Meanwhile, get out on the trail and keep hiking.